my childhood, I grew up in Florida. We moved here when I was 12 years old to Indianapolis. Played football through middle school, high school. When I was 19, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. That was a really tough time for me, for my family as well. After that, I kind of had a attitude of I was going to do whatever I wanted to. I was on borrowed time. So I started experimenting drugs when I was roughly 16 years old, started with a few beers that we had nabbed from a parents' cabinet, stuff like that. Started smoking pot when I was roughly 16 as well. In the relationship with my son's mom, we had some issues. She was a lot older than me. And when my son was born, the paranoia from the marijuana was no longer, it just wasn't a feasible option anymore. So I realized that pills were kind of the next step for me. It made me more sociable, made me feel comfortable in my own skin, a lot more than anything I've ever had. And it felt like it was the drug for me. And before I knew it, I was addicted to those pills. Within the first 6 months, I was going from hydrocodone to oxycodone. At one point within the first few months, I just realized I couldn't stop. As soon as I did, I would get physically very ill, and it just kept escalating from there until I entered treatment for the first time. So the first time I went to treatment, I thought the 7-day detox was all it required to get sober. I had no idea, no one in my family had any idea what was going to be coming. I got out of that treatment facility and I was still sick, mentally and physically, and that didn't help things at all. Over the next few years, I was in and out of treatment centers probably 7 times. I had progressed from pills to heroin to fentanyl, and the last few months were a really, really terrible ride of abusing Suboxone, back to heroin, back to Suboxone. I was not a present father whatsoever. It pains me to say that I just looked at him almost as a pain to me. With my parents, they had been dealing with it for years, put them close to bankruptcy, just trying to pull me out of situations that I had gotten myself into financially. And, they were at their wits' end. They're older people, and I felt like I was slowly killing them. It came down to the point where I was close to being homeless, and I had one last option to go to treatment. And fortunately, my sponsor at the time knew of a new place that was opening up, and I definitely wanted to take advantage of that and come to RCA. So since I had been through treatment facilities before, I kind of knew what my first day was going to look like, some sickness, but I was very, very surprised at how supportive the staff was here. The people that I had met just in the first day were really, really incredible people and made me feel as comfortable as possible. So through the 30 days of treatment, I was working on myself mentally and physically as well. They offer a lot of really great options here as far as, meditation. There is some physical activity that goes on, which is great. I was working with all different people. The therapists were absolutely phenomenal here. They definitely really care, and I think that's super important. So I think the biggest difference with RCA over the other treatment centers is the levels of care that they offer and the follow-through. The follow-through is really incredible, from the way they're able to bring family to treatment as far as, working with the therapist, with working with the family. It's a very important part of the process, mending some of those relationships and letting them know what the next steps are. The follow-through as far as next steps with the IOP and the alumni program has been phenomenal. To this day, I wake up every morning to an email, stating where the meetings are around me. It's a great reminder that meetings are what I need to do to stay sober, and being in here definitely got that point across with me. My relationship with my son is great. He actually moved in with us. I was able to get out of treatment and purchase my first home after about 9 months sober at this point. And it's great. I have full custody of him. Every day I get to come home and see him is a great day. I also got married after treatment. Things have been really, really phenomenal, and I attribute all of that to RCA. If you're watching this and you're struggling, just reach out. I know it's the 100-pound phone. It's the hardest call you'll ever make, but I promise you it's worth it. Coming to RCA has been the best thing I've done in my life so far, and anybody I can help to get into this treatment facility, I will help.